Okay, well, Ruth chapter 2, and the theme is redeeming love. So, we're going to learn a couple more things today. And something I want to point out is just about when we choose to follow Christ, sometimes our circumstances don't immediately change. Because really, God wants to change our hearts before He wants to just change our circumstances. And let me what does that mean, or how does that relate to Ruth? So Ruth chose to follow Naomi back to Bethlehem, her home, her promised land, right? So Ruth made this decision to follow Naomi, but yet when they got to Bethlehem, it just didn't make everything better, right? So Ruth made the right choice in following out of the world and into the promised land. But when she got to Bethlehem, they still needed to eat, right? They still needed to live to survive. So what did Ruth have to do, right? She had to go out into the fields. She had to get up in the morning and not be idle, and she had to go work in the fields. And you know what? It's the same way with us. Like, we have to get up, we have to exercise our faith. We can't be idle. We can't just lay around in bed thinking, oh God, I wish you'd change my circumstance. I wish you'd change the way this situation is pulling out or pulling together. God calls us to exercise our faith. And then you see in the story how the Lord begins to provide for Ruth as she steps out in faith, as she activates that faith, as she chooses not to be idle, but to seek and do the good work of the Lord. So let's practice that today. Let's be like Ruth and get up and not be idle and exercise our faith, and then rely on the Lord, because He will prove Himself faithful. He'll prove Himself faithful in your situation as you continue to make a choice for Him, because remember, He wants a heart change before He wants to change your circumstance. He can change a circumstance, but if your heart doesn't change, it's not going to really mean anything. So let's practice activating our faith today, stepping out in that and allowing the Lord to work in and through us.